Greetings, and welcome to Navigating the Future with your Personal Action Plan. My name is Dr. Karen Ivey. I am an assistant professor at Forbes School of Business. My background academically as well as educationally includes information technology, business management, as well as leadership. In our session today, I'm going to take you on a journey in developing your personal action plan. I then will show you a template that you will be able to use to do your own personal action plan. And then we will wrap up in looking at a completed personal action plan. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started on our journey. On our journey, we're going to have 4 stops. The first stop, we're going to talk about what is personal action planning. The second stop, we're going to take you to looking at the 6 key points in the personal action plan model. For the third stop, this is where I'll introduce the template to you, and you can see just how easy it is to use the template to develop your own personal action plan. And then the fourth stop is reinforcing something that you're going to hear me talk about throughout this whole presentation, the importance of sharing your personal action plan with somebody. Tell somebody about your plan. Let's get started. First stop on the journey, what is personal action planning? Personal action planning is developing personal accomplishment steps. As easy as that. Those accomplishment steps can be educational, business, it can be self-improvement reasons. But then you may be asking yourself, why? Why develop a personal action plan? Well, there are 3 motivating factors in developing a personal action plan. The first one is business, formal related. And we all are familiar with this. We're familiar with our annual performance reviews, and usually after the performance review, there are some developmental factors that we want to address. Developing a personal action plan to handle that works great. And that's more in a formal setting. But a second motivating factor for developing a personal action plan is personal. This can be formal or informal. As an example, last summer, I completed my first 30-mile bike race. That was the first time I had done anything like that. It took a lot of planning. It took a lot of details in exercising and pumping the body and getting myself ready. So it took a lot of executing as well. I identified my resources that I needed to get that training going. I also shared my plan with somebody, and that helped me not only to be accountable, but it also gave me resources to help me make it through the whole event. It was wonderful. And guess what? Next year, 2016, during the summer, I plan to do my first 60-mile bike race. I will be developing and using my own personal action plan for that. And just like I emphasize the importance of sharing your plan with somebody, I just shared it with you. So yes, I am accountable. Locke and Latham in 1990 created a theory. They actually in 1990 refined that theory on setting goals. And the theory goes like this. If you set goals, make sure that you stretch yourself. Make sure that you set goals that are high, more complex level goals. Why? Because that helps us to perform better. And it's a big difference versus setting goals that are smaller level or not as complex for us to get to. Well, after working that theory for a while, they actually came out with 5 principles that deal with setting goals. I call these the 3 C's FT: clarity, challenge, commitment, feedback, and task complexity. Clarity. Clarity is all about creating goals that are clear and measurable. You want to make sure that your goals are measurable. Challenge. As Locke and Latham mentioned before in their theory, make sure your goals stretch you. That's your vision. That's where you want to be. Commitment. And I add on accountability as well. Make sure that, number 1, you are committed to achieving your personal action goals. And then if you share those goals with someone else, they will help you to make sure that you stay on track with your commitment. Feedback. That's where sharing your goals with someone else comes from, and that's why it's so important. They can provide feedback to you to help you adjust your goals, to help you see just how well you are proceeding and staying on track and meeting your goals. And then finally, the sixth principle is task complexity. When you set your goals, even when you set those high goals, make sure you are not setting goals that are too complex for you to reach. If they're too overwhelming for you to achieve, then you will not achieve them. We're going to journey now to the second stop in our journey. And during the second stop, we're going to talk about the personal planning model. And specifically, we're going to talk about 6 points in the personal planning model. These are pretty easy things for you to ask yourself. The first one starts off with, where am I? That's your self-assessment. Where are you today? Which leads right into the second principle of, where do I want to be? Remember, as Locke and Latham told us, set those visions high so that you can stretch high to the goals where you want to go. The third point, how do I get there? That's when you really think about what will it take me to get to the goals that I want to achieve. That's a very detailed step because you want to think through exactly what does it take you to get to where you want to go. Fourth action, take action. That's execute, baby. Make sure you execute and you execute well. 5, revisit where am I. As you are progressing through your personal action plan, self-assess yourself. How well am I doing? Am I staying on track? Or do I need to pick up speed? Or do I need to change even some of the goals that I set within my personal action plan? And then the 6th one, again, I'm re-emphasizing, share your personal action plan with somebody that holds you accountable, and it also can bring support from a resource standpoint. We're ready for the third stop on our journey. And during the third stop on our journey, as I mentioned, I'm going to present to you a template that you can use to create your own personal action plan. And as we look at this template, I'm going to walk down the various sections of the personal action plan template, and you can see just how easy it is to use this template. And by the way, this template will be available for download following this presentation. Very first step, set objectives for yourself. And as we discussed with Locke and Latham, as you set those objectives for yourself, set them high. Make those stretch goals that you need to reach to improve yourself in whatever way that you are looking to improve yourself. Define your success criteria. What will let you know when you have achieved your final goal of your total personal action plan? What will let you know as you achieve different steps along the way, as you are working through your personal action plan? You'll want to define those success criteria. Identify and pinpoint individual responsibility actions. This is what I mentioned before. This is the very detailed step. Think of what are all the detailed activities that you need to complete to be successful in completing your personal action plan. Resources, very important. Identify what resources you will need. These resources could be individuals, they could be financial resources, they could be agreements or approvals that you need to be sure that you're successful with your personal action plan. Number 5, identify target dates. When do you need to complete your total personal action plan? And as far as those details along the way, set dates for those too. As you progress through your personal action plan, you'll have sub-points along the way where you can check and make sure you're progressing the way that you should. And finally, sign your own personal action plan. Sign it back to yourself. Remember, this is a commitment that you are making to yourself. So now, we have progressed through 3 of our stop points on our journey in completing your personal action plan, and we're now at the 4th stop point. And this one I have been stressing throughout the entire presentation. Share your plan with someone. And again, why is that so important? It is so important because it creates accountability to yourself for completing your own plan. And also by sharing your plan with someone, you can also get resources and you can also get support from those individuals. Well, team, we have now walked through all 4 points of our journey in completing your personal action plan. I say journey complete, navigation successful, everything works well. I'm Dr. Karen Ivey, and I wish you much success in your personal action planning journeys. Thank you.